Franco, and this is The Minute. San Francisco police shot and killed a man who they say drove onto the sidewalk and hit two teenagers and a bicyclist. The shooting happened at Grant and Post in Union Square around 1:30 this morning. Police say the driver may have been chasing the bicyclist. They believe the suspect worked as a security guard at Dior. The pedestrians are expected to be okay. Milpitas police say a father killed his two children and his wife before turning the gun on himself. The children were just 9 and 4 years old. The apparent murder-suicide happened at the Turing apartment complex on Tuesday. Police found a handgun registered to the father at the scene. A government shutdown could happen tonight if leaders on Capitol Hill don't reach a deal on a funding bill. This comes after a vote on a GOP measure to extend funding through mid-March failed last night. I'm Gianna Franco, and this is The Minute.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
It's another mild day for us here in the Bay Area with daytime highs just a little bit cooler compared to yesterday. We're talking about 50s near Petaluma and Novato, low 60s into San Francisco and Oakland with upper 60s stretched down into the Santa Clara Valley. Now you head over into the East Bay, just like yesterday, we're still under a dense fog advisory for the morning hours near Solano County, closer to the Delta, while the rest of us are actually seeing better conditions as we head into the next couple hours. Just some partly cloudy skies into this afternoon, and it'll be a mild day for us today as we gear up for some rain right around the corner starting tomorrow. But it's not going to be a big washout by any means. High pressure's been keeping us dry recently. It's been a calm day for us today, and the storms are mostly to the north of us. But watch what happens as we advance the clock into this weekend. Our rain chances start to increase for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of next week as we get closer to Christmas Day. But Saturday is not going to be a big washout. If anything, we're just seeing some passing showers widespread throughout the Bay Area, mostly cloudy skies, and then we actually clear up pretty fast as we head into the overnight hours Saturday night into Sunday morning too. Once we head into Sunday evening, that's the next batch of showers right around the corner. Notice the timestamp way to the corner of your screen, just around 6 o'clock on Sunday. That's when some more heavy rain is expected for us here in the Bay Area. And then taking a look at the next 7 days, we'll see on and off showers for Monday and Tuesday with some gustier conditions both those days. And then we dry up Christmas Eve with more showers expected Christmas Day. We'll keep you updated here in the Weather Center.
Well, a longtime restaurant owner in Oakland's Little Saigon neighborhood has died. It happened just days after one of his employees was beaten near the restaurant. The Best Dim Sum and Pastry sits in a strip mall at the corner of East 12th Street and 7th Avenue, across from Clinton Park. Our Lauren Tom spoke with the owner's widow and community leaders trying to process this latest crime in the troubled area.
This dim sum shop in the heart of Oakland's Little Saigon has been a neighborhood fixture for 30 years. Now, its owner is mourning the loss of her husband after a violent incident outside their restaurant.
This store always count on my husband to do the recipe for them. So always come to check how to do the employee doing.
She asked to remain anonymous, but tells us the trouble started last Sunday. She says an unhoused man who's known for causing trouble in the neighborhood began throwing objects at their store, breaking a window and vandalizing their car. An employee went out to confront the man, the husband running closely behind. In those chaotic moments, the husband was stunned by the incident, suffering a heart attack. He later died in the hospital.
It's beyond tragic.
Jennifer Tran, who grew up eating at his restaurant, tells us he was known for speaking up about public safety concerns in his neighborhood.
Not only because it's another business, but the person who attacked the employee is actually a familiar face in the neighborhood for many years. And when I talk to the business owners, they're saying how he's been here. It would sit here and wouldn't bother anyone, but the longer folks like him who have been out here, the more prone they are to episodes, to, violent action.
Other neighborhood leaders say it's an issue that may be beyond the city's control, as Oakland has been plagued by budget cuts and leadership changes.
Are you surprised to hear about this incident?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
A violent altercation?
Not at all. Just because, like I said, it happens so often, and we become immune to it.
Chin has become a staple of the neighborhood, known for helping businesses like these in the aftermath of a burglary or assault. He tells us the conditions of the city, from trash to crime and homelessness, have become so severe that the city alone can't provide enough resources to affect change.
I hate to say it, but it's out of their hands. So there's no business that's off limits no more. You know, we used to protect these types of landmark businesses, but it's open season over here.
But for the store owner's widow, she's uncertain about her restaurant's future. She hopes her husband can be remembered for his recipes and warmth he brought to his neighborhood.
Every morning during coffee in here and talk each other and play each other. That's why they all come here.
Oakland police tell us an arrest has been made, but they're still investigating. Now, this is not the first crime we have covered at this same plaza. Just 3 doors down from the restaurant is Lucky 7 Cigarettes. If you remember, back in October, some thieves smashed through the front of the smoke shop and stole tens of thousands of dollars worth of cigarettes. That was not the first time that happened to Lucky 7. Since then, the smoke shop's owners and the businesses around them have installed these huge concrete barriers to protect them from ramming vehicles.
You know, they were saying like the weight lifted off their shoulders, and then they said that now he can sleep peacefully at night. We're trying to give them a sense of ease, you know.
Now, before the barriers were there, the Lucky 7 owners told us they've spent more than $100,000 repairing damage from prior break-ins and adding security gates. Well, a coffee shop in San Francisco's Mission Bay has not even opened yet, but has dealt with at least 2 break-ins over a 24-hour span. The owners of Silicon Valley Coffee say they came in Sunday to see 2 people on their property with needles scattered everywhere. Police talked to the suspects, but did not make any arrests. The next morning, they walked in to see they were robbed of everything, including a brand new security system. Now, despite the setback, the owners say they're not going to pack up and leave.
Coffee is about community, and historically coffee shops bringing people together, and and this neighborhood needs to be brought together.
Well, the coffee shop on 4th Street is expected to be a temporary site. It will have to close when developers break ground on a new complex with 1,000 rental units. Well, today is expected to be one of the busiest travel days this holiday season. AAA is forecasting record crowds on the roads and at the airports. The TSA is expecting up to 54 million passengers. But stormy weather in the Midwest is moving to the Northeast, and that could bring delays. Our Veronica Macias is at SFO.
A total of 159,000 people expected to fly in and out of SFO today. This morning, we've already seen a majority of that number here. Now, we know that on Sunday, that's the peak day with a few thousand more arriving. The good news is things are running smooth. TSA has been coming through with a commanding voice, moving people to different terminals so that they keep the lines moving. TSA projecting a steady volume of travelers through this holiday season, close to 500,000 people being screened between December 17th and the 23rd. This morning, we met several passengers who are feeling the holiday spirit, some of them flying abroad for the first time, some of them taking that holiday cruise with their family they do annually, but everyone excited to be reunited with loved ones.
Just to see family, be with them. I make cookies. I do the baking.
Hard work.
I enjoy it.
We're excited to see family in our trip, and we're going to enjoy a lot of the food, so we haven't eaten in a long time. So I'm from Argentina, and it's their first time going there, so it's really special.
Happy holidays! While things are moving smoothly here, we've also heard a lot of honking outside in departures, as the crowds here can make anyone busy. You don't want to turn into that Christmas Grinch, so give yourself plenty of time if you're still flying out over the weekend. The good news is that SFO has been named the best airport in North America. That's by Business Traveler magazine.
Well, drivers are seeing lower prices at the pump. Right now, according to AAA, the average for a gallon of regular gas here in the Bay Area is $4.42. That's down nearly 20 cents from a month ago. Now, statewide, you're paying about $4.31 per gallon. The national average, though, is $3.05. Well, still ahead on CBS News Bay Area, billboards advertising people getting replaced by computers and artificial intelligence. So Who's behind these ads? We speak to the CEO of the company who was looking to make a statement.
We have to do something different to draw attention.
And plus, see what it takes to get those holiday gifts delivered to their destinations. We join the day in the life of a mail carrier and learn just how much goes into their job. And it could be the future of fighting fires, how some Bay Area firefighters are using some of the same technology as self-driving cars.
It's here, that time of year, when Bay Area homes get decked out for the holidays. All this month, KPIX is bringing you the stories of the coolest, brightest, and the most amazing holiday displays, and meeting the people making spirits brighter, one light at a time. Decked out for the holidays, all this month on KPIX and Pix Plus. Sponsored by C's Candies.
Calm day for us today. It's a mild one thanks to high pressure parked just offshore, keeping the storm track to the north of us. That won't be the case, though, as we head into the next couple days. Right around the corner, starting on Saturday and lasting into Sunday and Monday of next week, we have more rain in the forecast for us, but it's not necessarily a big washout event by any means. As we take a look at Saturday alone, I mean, we're seeing some light showers sweep throughout the Bay Area throughout the morning hours, a little bit heavier for our friends up in the North Bay, and then we'll actually start to dry up into the overnight hours on Saturday. I'll have Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday coming up in just a bit. For now, over to you.
Well, with the rise of artificial intelligence, we have heard a lot of speculation about how AI will impact workers here in the Bay Area and beyond. So you may have seen these billboards advertising a nightmare scenario where people stop hiring humans. They go so far as to say that their AI computers won't come into work hungover or take naps at the office. They are causing some conversation around San Francisco. So our Wilson Walker spoke to the CEO behind the billboards and asked, is AI taking all of our jobs?
But look, it seems to declare quite explicitly what a lot of people fear about AI.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think that going into this, we knew that if we made the billboards like everyone else makes their billboards, no one's going to care. Like if I put a billboard up that said, we're going to improve your outbound sales, then we wouldn't be talking right now. It wouldn't matter. Like we'd spend the money and we'd get nothing from it. So when we created the campaign, we went into it knowing that we have to be provocative. We have to do something different to draw attention. And
Jasper
if it's not
Carmichael
something that
Jack,
people are
founder
looking
and
for, then it's
CEO of Artisan AI, is quick to acknowledge what you may already suspect. The ads are deliberately provocative and not to be taken literally. He says their AI sales software isn't for businesses looking to shed jobs, but automate some undesirable tasks.
and they're excited to use the product. They're excited to be able to hand off the menial work that they don't enjoy doing and focus on real human work and doing things that only a human can do. And I think that's what we're really going after. We're going after replacing the work that people don't want to do so they can do the work that they actually enjoy.
But the ads do play off of a very widespread fear. An August poll found 48% of working Americans think AI will decrease the number of jobs available in their industry. So is that happening? And how would we know if that is happening, right? Businesses don't just come out and tell us their private strategies, much less how AI might be affecting their workforce. So how do we learn what businesses might not be inclined to tell us?
So we overcome that challenge by leveraging very, very detailed data on the job postings of those firms and the resumes of the workers. So think LinkedIn profiles, PDF resumes, right, resumes people submit to jobs, to be able to see whom the firms are hiring.
A behavioral economist at UC Berkeley, Anastasia Fedek, is part of a remarkable sleuthing effort with help from partners around the world. They're following enough resumes and LinkedIn pages to have a track on some 60 to 70% of the American professional workforce. So they've been able to see which businesses have been hiring AI expertise often years before those companies might publicly talk about those programs.
We link that to what's happening to the firm, the public information of the firm, like its sales, the employment numbers, the total employment numbers. That's something that's in the reports.
And from all of that, they can say that most businesses that move towards AI actually end up adding employees.
On net, in most sectors, right, and again, there's some tasks, there's some sectors where it is, right, replacing humans, but on net and in most sectors, employment does not decline when a firm starts investing in AI.
The reason, she says, is that AI is generally good for business. It often starts when a company hires someone with an AI background.
They leverage the AI tools for innovation, and then you have your additional product patents, you have your additional trademarks, you hire your additional product managers to manage that product, your additional salespeople to sell that product.
We actually do secretly love humans. Like we have a lot of humans on our team, and we're hiring a lot more.
Back to Artisan's billboards, they probably say more about the AI business frenzy than the impact on human employment. Remember, Artisan is advertising to potential buyers in a market that is still taking shape. Many traditional businesses are thinking about what AI might be able to do for them, and emerging AI producers are fighting each other for that business.
And so there's a lot of competition to capture market share among the firms that are producing the technology, which, of course, will lead to much more catchy advertising.
And to be completely candid, I don't think anyone should stop hiring humans. I think that there's a lot of things that humans can do that AI definitely can't do. And when we get to the point where people should stop hiring humans, we should have universal basic income by then, and there should not be a 5-day work week.
Well, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, AI might actually increase jobs in the long run by 2033. The Bureau estimates a 4% increase in jobs likely to utilize AI. This includes paralegals, media, and technical writers. Well, delivery drivers for Amazon are back on the picket lines today during their busiest time of the year. They started their strike yesterday at several Amazon warehouses across the country, including this one you see here in San Francisco. The strike involves members of the Teamsters Union. They're demanding more money and better benefits and working conditions.
I can barely make it by. I'm just like everybody, a typical American who's like, I got tons of bills, everything like that. And I just want it where I can feel a little bit comfortable, breathe a little easier.
But Amazon says the employees actually work for third-party businesses, and they accuse the union of misleading the public. The company says it doesn't expect deliveries or services to be impacted. Well, Christmas is coming up, and you may have dropped off a package to be mailed recently. There is a huge army of people this time of year who make sure they get under the tree on time. Of course, it's the job of the people of the Postal Service, but some go above and beyond, not only doing their job, but connecting members of their communities while they work. This is by far the busiest time of year for mail carriers, many of whom work 6 days a week, walking more than 10 miles during their shift. Our Suji Nam tagged along with one mail carrier in San Jose to learn more about her pivotal impact in the community.
Nahima Aginaga starts her workday as a postal carrier at 7:30 a.m. 6 days a week in San Jose.
Sorting the street, I'm getting my packages ready.
She's been working for the U.S. Postal Service for the past 7 years.
My route has 513 residentials.
Delivering to more than 500 homes every day.
I walk about 14 miles on average just on my route alone.
Nahima is used to delivering countless packages on her shift, but there is a significant spike during the holiday season. She's averaging at least 1,000 package deliveries every week.
Hi!
In fact, the Berryessa Postal Office in San Jose processed over 30,000 packages over the past 2 weeks. As for Nahima, she will be working on Christmas Eve to make sure all of her residents get their mail in time.
I'm the last stop that Christmas presents go. So I have to make sure that I deliver them. Because, I mean, like it or not, there's that Christmas present and I have to be the one delivering it.
Nahima adds it's all about the people, not the job. Houses turned into familiar faces, and those familiar faces soon turned into friends.
She's awesome. You take care of her because we want her forever.
Like Mercedes Tan and her family, who now call Nahima a lifelong friend.
She didn't see my dad for a long time because he was sick. She asked, and she was just, worried about him because that's what it is she knows us and she cares about us.
It's a special moment for Nahima, who is moved by the love from the community she serves.
Happy holidays to you too. Well, it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear that what you do matters to certain people, and the impact that you cause. They know about my son being in the military and my daughter and stuff like that. So they know when I'm not here and they know when I'm here.
It's something so much more than just delivering mail.
Sometimes you think that, you're just walking down the streets and people don't notice you, but obviously they do.
Nahima is grateful that she is cared for by the friends she's made along the way in this San Jose neighborhood. And she cares for them back, one letter at a time.
Well, today is the deadline to use 2-day shipping from FedEx and UPS to make sure your packages arrive by Christmas. You have until Monday to use next day shipping. The Postal Service's priority mail deadline, that was yesterday. Well, still ahead, a San Francisco institution serving up meals to those in need with grace on the menu. The volunteers offering food for the soul.
I never thought in my life that there were people who could possibly be my neighbors who would go to sleep hungry or who wouldn't have a place to sleep, but that's our reality.
So dense fog today for us just in Solano County, some high clouds passing through, and I advanced the clock all the way into Saturday so you could see this. Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon. Most of those showers are just to the north of us, closer to Santa Rosa, Novato, Petaluma. Notice down in the Santa Clara Valley, we're barely seeing anything. It's going to be light for us as we head into Saturday evening, and then it actually dries up pretty fast into those overnight hours. Now we advance the clock to Sunday morning. Still some unsettled weather in the forecast for us. We'll see on and off light showers, mostly off into the east. We'll get a nice break during the day, and then heading into the evening hours that night, we're expecting some heavier rain. Now Monday into Tuesday, this is where the page turns and we're seeing a little bit gustier conditions, kind of similar to last weekend where we could see wind gust up to around 20, 30, even 40 miles per hour along that coastline. So taking a look at the next couple of days, heading into this weekend and early next week, it does look like there's a chance for some rain in the forecast for us as we head into our Christmas forecast. It looks like the day before, Christmas Eve, will be a little bit drier for us. So we're keeping a close eye specifically on next week, as many of us are going to be traveling just throughout the Bay Area or maybe heading out to the SFO, trying to get out of town just in time for the holidays. This is a really good day to be traveling on Wednesday. It looks like some showers could return as we head into Thursday. We'll time that out as we get closer. For now, over to you.
Well, in one of San Francisco's fanciest neighborhoods, a group of dedicated volunteers helping people who are just trying to get back on their feet. Volunteers cook and serve meals to people coming out of homelessness. Our Amanda Harry spoke with a volunteer who has seen the need firsthand.
Tucked away in the corner of Grace Cathedral, a group of volunteers spends hours every month cooking meals.
Basically our workspace, and it's wonderful.
Nicole Stahl has been a volunteer with Dinner with Grace for almost 15 years. They think up recipes that they believe will bring people joy.
This really fantastic cheesy ziti pasta bake. Everybody loves it, yes? Yes.
There was also garlic bread salad and a raspberry crumble for dessert. A holiday dinner for people in supportive housing.
These are people transitioning out of homelessness. They deserve every bit of support that we could possibly give them.
She lives walking distance from the cathedral and sees all the people who are in need of a hot meal.
I never thought in my life that there were people who could possibly be my neighbors who would go to sleep hungry or who wouldn't have a place to sleep. But that's our reality.
The group of volunteers makes about 2,000 meals a year. This batch will be going to the Mentone, a permanent supportive housing site in the Tenderloin. Many of the same volunteers who cook the meals will go to the housing site the next day to serve them, including Stahl.
Are you well?
Over the more than a decade she has been doing this, she's built relationships with some of the residents.
Keep on trucking. Thanks. God bless and happy holidays.
Many of the people will live at these sites for years, but the holidays can still get lonely. And a meal like this can bring a little extra connection to residents like Harold Thornton.
I'm not from here, I'm from the East Coast, so I'm the only one out here. I'm a family back east. So having someone come over here, feed us and for the holidays, and it's almost like family thing now. So I feel better, and it's a treat for me.
And also a treat for Stahl.
After spending an evening here and serving people at the Mentone, as I was walking up the hill, I felt lighter than air. I felt younger than springtime.
The goal of Dinner with Grace is to bring a diverse group of people together to discover common humanity.
We all deserve the basics in life and a little jam on top of it.
Feeding hungry bodies and hungry souls.
Well, coming up in our next half hour on CBS News Bay Area, commercial crab fishing delayed through the end of the year.
My money was a lot more consistent, I feel like. But it's definitely a struggle.
Now a debate within the fishing community about the best way forward with the new normal of the delayed crab season. And seen through fire, the revolutionary new technology rolling out in the Bay Area that could save lives.
It's so much better than the old thermal imaging camera technology that we had.
Franco, and this is The Minute. San Francisco police shot and killed a man who they say drove onto the sidewalk and hit two teenagers and a bicyclist. The shooting happened at Grant and Post in Union Square around 1:30 this morning. Police say the driver may have been chasing the bicyclist. They believe the suspect worked as a security guard at Dior. The pedestrians are expected to be okay. For the sixth time this year, California regulators have approved new rate hikes for PG&E. One rate increase will go into effect next year, the other in 2026. PG&E says the hikes are necessary to cover rising operating costs, including efforts to clear vegetation near power lines. The 49ers face off against the Dolphins this Sunday in Miami. The team that loses will officially be eliminated from the playoffs. That game airs on KPIX and streams on Paramount Plus. It kicks off at 1:25. I'm Gianna Franco, and this is The Minute.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
It's another mild day for us here in the Bay Area with daytime highs just a little bit cooler compared to yesterday. We're talking about 50s near Petaluma and Novato, low 60s into San Francisco and Oakland with upper 60s stretched down into the Santa Clara Valley. Now you head over into the East Bay, just like yesterday, we're still under a dense fog advisory for the morning hours near Solano County, closer to the Delta, while the rest of us are actually seeing better conditions as we head into the next couple hours. Just some partly cloudy skies into this afternoon, and it'll be a mild day for us today as we gear up for some rain right around the corner starting tomorrow. But it's not going to be a big washout by any means. High pressure's been keeping us dry recently. It's been a calm day for us today, and the storms are mostly to the north of us. But watch what happens as we advance the clock into this weekend. Our rain chances start to increase for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of next week as we get closer to Christmas Day. But Saturday is not going to be a big washout. If anything, we're just seeing some passing showers widespread throughout the Bay Area, mostly cloudy skies, and then we actually clear up pretty fast as we head into the overnight hours Saturday night into Sunday morning too. Once we head into Sunday evening, that's the next batch of showers right around the corner. Notice the timestamp way to the corner of your screen, just around 6 o'clock on Sunday. That's when some more heavy rain is expected for us here in the Bay Area. And then taking a look at the next 7 days, we'll see on and off showers for Monday and Tuesday with some gustier conditions both those days. And then we dry up Christmas Eve with more showers expected Christmas Day. We'll keep you updated here in the Weather Center.
We are less than a week away from Christmas, and the local tradition of Christmas crab is off the holiday menu again this year. The earliest crabbers could potentially get back to work is January 1st. The state is conducting another risk assessment today. Now, commercial crab fishermen are eagerly awaiting the go-ahead for the start of yet another delayed season. The reason for the delays, state regulators say the prevalence of marine life, including humpbacks, is too high for crab fishing to begin. It's become a consistent problem for crabbers who traditionally got the green light to start in mid-November. But since 2018, the protection of whales has caused a delay of the commercial crab season. As Kenny Choi shows us, a debate is growing as the crab fishing community tries to agree on a whale-safe fishing method.
Dick Ogg is a crab fisherman who also spends countless hours driving up and down the coast, advocating for others in the business without getting paid.
I fished and dove along the coastline here since I was in my early 20s.
Fishing is in the 72-year-old's veins. Between calls with regulators and industry decision makers, Ogg prepares his own crab pots, employing just 2 deckhands, who work in the side yard of his home to save costs. But the Bodega Bay resident is concerned about a years-long push to promote high-tech pop-up fishing gear as the solution for whale-safe harvesting in the spring after the season ends.
I don't want this to become a boutique fishery.
We witnessed how the technology by Subsea Sonics and Guardian Ropeless works in 2023. The ropeless technology allows crab fishermen to set traps without a vertical line, which is the main concern for whale safety and why the season has been significantly delayed. But that technology comes at a steep price. Ogg is critical of the tens of thousands of dollars fishermen have to shell out, especially for the crab fishermen who can least afford it. Bradley Titus says increasingly shortened seasons are becoming untenable.
That money was a lot more consistent, I feel like. But it's definitely a struggle.
Besides questioning the reliability of pop-up gear and self-reported numbers during limited test runs, Ogg believes there's a more cost-efficient, whale-safe approach called grappling.
It would catch here, pull, and then begin to lift the pot up, and we would bring the pot up to the boat from there.
To work, several pots strung together would be dropped to the ocean floor with locations marked using GPS technology. No vertical lines threatening whale entanglements. Days later, a grapple hook would essentially pick up the pots for the fishermen to haul in.
We want it to work for everybody.
It would eliminate the need to purchase the costly pop-up gear, but is not sanctioned by officials at this time. Kim Sawicki is founder of Sustainable Seas Technology, which has been tracking the use of the emerging technology.
They're really excited about the gear. They know that it's reliable. They're happy with it. They're comfortable with it, and it helped them, to keep paying their bills last spring.
20 fishing vessels were given permits this year to use the pop-up gear and sell live crab at a premium, with only a handful of vessels fishing and the rest of the fleet in the hundreds sitting on the sidelines. Sawicki says self-reported data shows a 98% success rate for the gear and rope deployment. But the Pacific Coast Federation of Fishermen's Associations, the largest commercial fishing trade association on the West Coast, has deep reservations about expanding the experimental fishing permits for what they say is costly pop-up gear.
It's not supposed to be a way to keep fishing when the season is closed or to create a new fishery for a small group of guys to make money.
For fishermen like Og and deckhands who are saving up to one day captain their own boats, they're hoping regulators approve grappling permits to see if this might be the more cost-efficient solution for all.
The reason I am so driven to try and keep this industry alive is because of these two boys that are working here on this gear.
Og knows his fishing days are limited, but he's fighting to give small fishermen without a voice a chance to compete on a level playing field, to make a modest living, and a chance to keep fishing.
Well, 2 weeks after a 7.0 earthquake near Humboldt County triggered a tsunami warning along the Bay Area coastline, San Mateo County leaders are trying to figure out how to prevent scenes like this. Roads clogged as people rushed to higher ground. Residents packed last night's meeting in Half Moon Bay to give their feedback about how local leaders can better communicate to find out what's being done to better prepare for a tsunami and to share their concerns.
Not only is it difficult for folks to get out in an emergency, but it's really going to be difficult for emergency vehicles and ambulances and fire and all of that to get in.
The state's maps crashed, and so people were trying to go to the state site to find out where they were in relationship to the hazard, and the site was down. And so we're really, as a county, trying to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Well, the San Mateo County Emergency Management Team is now developing online zone maps that show people exactly what their risk is and where to evacuate. They're also considering holding tsunami drills. Now to a new tool that could be the future of fighting fires. Fire crews in Menlo Park are now training with new augmented reality equipment. As Len Ramirez shows us, the goal is to provide firefighters with crucial information to help source and fight the flames.
Well, one of the most dangerous things about a fire is the smoke. It is deadly to breathe and it's blinding. Well, here in Menlo Park, they're trying out some new technology that may solve at least part of the problem.
This is what it looks like when firefighters enter a burning building to look for victims. The smoke makes it impossible to see. But this is the exact same scene using a new helmet-mounted augmented reality display that's being tested by Menlo Park Fire Chief Mark Lorenzen and several of his firefighters.
The nice thing is I can see the heat source, and I can also see the internal structural members of everything, whether it's stairways, doorways, ceilings, people. It's so much better than the old thermal imaging camera technology that we had that was just heat. And so, it really helps you make your way around in a structure where normally you wouldn't be able to see anything.
It's called the See-Through Visual Communication Platform developed by San Francisco's Quake Technologies. It allows firefighters to flip down a small screen which provides a heads-up display of the scene in front of them using technology borrowed from computers, the military, and self-driving cars.
In the back here, you've got a supercomputer that can go into extremely high heat. This powers your AR, AI vision module up here. You've got a germanium window protecting our thermal lens. That gets reflected into a head-up display, the same thing you would see in a jet fighter pilot's helmet. And so through this, they'll be able to see through smoke. They'll be able to make green edges. They'll be able to do raw thermal. They can mix edges with thermal. They can also send and respond to maydays.
I tried on the see-through system and went into the smoke chamber, which is only theatrical smoke for the demo, to see what it could do. This is sort of like looking into the future of firefighting. Gives you a measure of confidence and a lot more safety. Menlo Park is one of the first departments in the country to embrace the new technology.
Well, in a structure fire, your visibility is zero, less than zero if there's such a thing. And here, that's no longer the case. So just really, what a potentially, just landmark improvement.
The project is backed by the Department of Homeland Security, and Menlo Park is providing feedback to eventually make the see-through system available to fire departments nationwide.
Well, coming up next, what's under this paved road is keeping Bay Area waterways clean of gunk and debris. We'll show you the buried treasure that's stopping garbage from reaching the water.
But it is a calm day for us today. It's a mild one thanks to high pressure parked just offshore, keeping the storm track to the north of us. That won't be the case, though, as we head into the next couple days. Right around the corner, starting on Saturday and lasting into Sunday and Monday of next week, we have more rain in the forecast for us, but it's not necessarily a big washout event by any means. As we take a look at Saturday alone, we're seeing some light showers sweep throughout the Bay Area throughout the morning hours, a little bit heavier for our friends up in the North Bay, and then we'll actually start to dry up into the overnight hours on Saturday. I'll have Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday coming up in just a bit. For now, over to you.
Well, climate change is triggering more intense storms and flooding. The more extreme the storm, the more trash and pollutants end up in our oceans, rivers, and streams. In today's Project Earth, a real-life buried treasure that seeks to trap junk before it pollutes our Bay Area waters. And Makovic explains.
After a drenching rain, the traffic flows pretty smoothly on Willow Pass Road in Bay Point, but so too does all kinds of trash that got swept up in the runoff.
The more extreme the storm, the more pollutants can be loosened and discharged into the stormwater.
According to stormwater consultant John Stiver, what ends up in Bay Area waterways is simply mind-boggling.
We see chunks of concrete, we see basketballs, we see railroad ties, other things that you'll see floating out in the Delta and out in the bay.
Now, under the paved road, a buried treasure offers a solution. 2 months ago, a crew carefully put it into a huge hole in the ground.
This is really fun for me. I love being out and watching these systems go in.
The treasure is an impressive 40-ton structure called a debris separation baffle box. Inside that box, a series of chambers, filters, and cages. They divert, capture, and hold any trash and debris that flows through it, even the tiniest stuff.
We're capturing hydrocarbons, oil and grease that comes off the street. We're also capturing fine sediment particulates that are captured in the unit.
We know that the trash will be caught before it gets to the bay.
Michelle Mancuso is the Senior Watershed Management Planning Specialist with the Contra Costa County Watershed Program. She says there are many reasons why communities don't want to have trash in their creeks, rivers, streams, or bay.
It damages our water quality. It hurts any organisms, fish that live in the water. It is damaging to people. It can spread viruses or bacteria or create less oxygen in the water, which ultimately hurts humans.
By July 2025, certain municipal stormwater systems in California must install structures like these to prevent trash from entering waterways. Caltrans contributed over $1.5 million for the project here in Bay Point. As to what happens to the captured trash, they open up these manholes to vacuum it all out.
When it's full, we check on it and then clean it out.
On hand to watch the installation, 7-year-old Sammy Jimenez and his mom, Adele. They both approve.
It collects all the garbage.
That sounds like a good plan.
A good plan for the many storms and the next generations to come.
Well, another test is on the way next week. To see more Project Earth stories like this one, you can head to our website at kpix.com. Well, coming up, an iconic home in the Bay Area transformed for the holidays. We head to Woodside, where the Christmas magic is setting in.
So dense fog today for us just in Solano County, some high clouds passing through, and I advanced the clock all the way into Saturday so you could see this. Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon. Most of those showers are just to the north of us, closer to Santa Rosa, Novato, Petaluma. Notice down in the Santa Clara Valley, we're barely seeing anything. It's going to be light for us as we head into Saturday evening, and then it actually dries up pretty fast into those overnight hours. Now we advance the clock to Sunday morning. Still some unsettled weather in the forecast for us. We'll see on and off light showers mostly off into the east. We'll get a nice break during the day, and then heading into the evening hours that night, we're expecting some heavier rain. Now Monday into Tuesday, this is where the page turns, and we're seeing a little bit gustier conditions, kind of similar to last weekend, where we can see wind gust up to around 20, 30, even 40 miles per hour along that coastline. So taking a look at the next couple of days, heading into this weekend and early next week, it does look like there's a chance for some rain in the forecast for us as we head into our Christmas forecast. It looks like the day before, Christmas Eve, will be a little bit drier for us, so we're keeping a close eye specifically on next week, as many of us are going to be traveling just throughout the Bay Area or maybe heading out to the SFO, trying to get out of town just in time for the holidays. This is a really good day to be traveling on Wednesday. It looks like some showers could return as we head into Thursday. We'll time that out as we get closer. For now, over to you.
Well, in the East Bay, the station agents at the Pleasant Hill BART station are going above and beyond to bring some holiday cheer into the daily commute for riders. Take a look at this agent booth. It has been transformed in what agents are calling a Candyland gingerbread house. So cute. They say it took about 2 weeks to pull off many of those decorations made from common household items. And why did they do it?
Just in the Christmas spirit. It makes people smile. And you know what? Just the energy at the station in the evening and all day, everyone's happy and then during this time, it's just nice to spread a little cheer. You know what I mean?
Yes, we do. Well, it is getting to be something of a holiday tradition. This is the second year running that agents here decorated their booth. Last year, they made it look like an igloo. KPIX is helping you get decked out for the holidays. We are highlighting some of the top light displays around the Bay Area and the people behind them. So today we are taking you to Filoli Gardens in Woodside, where the property and gardens have been transformed.
Part of the joy of my job is that I do get to live out my childhood dreams.
Kevin Wisney is the director of museum collections and curator of Filoli, who oversees the decor inside this historic home. Thousands of ornaments on trees and wreaths and hundreds of holiday lights are perfectly placed, transforming Filoli's historic house and garden into a twinkling winter wonderland.
Here we are in the large formal ballroom at Filoli. We just finished an almost $600,000 restoration of this room.
From the massive ombre decorated trees in the ballroom,
and one of my favorite parts here at Filoli, we started
to the perfectly placed book tree in the library.
These are not historic books. Nobody worry. We're not using the Bourne's historic books. These books are made specifically for this.
Kevin and his team creating magical moments, taking visitors back in time and staying true to the era.
This space, we give a nod to the Roth family. The Roth family were the second owners of Filoli.
And it doesn't stop there.
Right here is one of the best people in the world. This is Haley. Haley is the manager of the formal gardens and also the designer of all the exterior lights.
As we step outside to the decorated gardens surrounding this historic home.
We have 42 ewes. We have 2 miles of boxwood. 17 acres are really utilized in this display.
Where lanterns illuminate the rose garden and a moon river runs through the grounds.
The moon is backlit. It really looks like it looks lunar at night, and it's one of my favorite lighting moments, because who doesn't like the moon? And this river is really gorgeous at night because everything disappears. The formality of the garden disappears, if that makes sense. And this really does turn into this meandering creek, and I love it, and the frogs love it, so.
There's even a fully lit 210-foot tunnel. Each strand, each decoration hung with care by a group of people who take pride in putting together this gorgeous display of holiday cheer for the community.
One of the greatest parts of my job is to stand in here when we're open and watch people come through that front door and just, for one moment in their lives, they can forget about all their problems and they can just enjoy. And they don't have to think about their bills or the nasty thing their mother said or whatever might be bothering them. That for a second they walk through that door and their faces are just filled with joy. And that's the best part of my job. I couldn't ask for anything better than that.
All in the hopes of bringing families together as they create lasting holiday memories.
Well, Filoli's lights are up now through January 12th, and if you miss any of our stories on these amazing light displays, join us for our Decked Out for the Holiday special airing Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Well, thanks so much for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Gianna Franco. We'll be right back with your First Alert forecast and a look at your top stories.